What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bri, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or I'm blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead and Michonne's last episode, Season 10, Episode 13. Obviously, spoiler warning for The Walking Dead show, comics, spin-offs, all things Walking Dead, spoiler warning. Now, this is not the Q&A from the Spoiling Dead fans. This is from TWD Universe spoilers and the early spoilers that are going around. Once we get the Q&A, we'll make a separate video on that. But first, guys, before we get to it, please hit that subscribe button. It's very important for us to achieve the goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we can't do it without you. Hit the join button, become a valued member of our PT channel Walking Dead family, and ring the bell to be notified when we post videos every day. Now, these were the early spoilers, the Spoiling Dead fans spoiler tidbit, talking about Michonne, and this came out on Sunday. But it was Michonne will learn that Rick is still alive when she is on Virgil's island inside a boat that has washed ashore. Michonne finds Rick's boots. She also finds a cell phone that has what looks like a chalk drawing of Judith and Michonne. She radios Judith and tells her that the brave man might still be alive. Judith encourages her to pursue the possibility. So I'm not sure what's up with the cell phone. How is it still working? What's the drawing of? Rick's boots? What's he, barefoot? I'm guessing Michonne takes the boots back to Rick, and she might be like, hey, you forgot these, or you lost these, or something, when they reunite, whenever they reunite, if they reunite. So that was our early spoiler warning video of the potential spoilers going around, the early stuff, but it looks like Michonne survives and will go to find Rick, hopefully in the Rick Grimes movies. So some other information that's going around is this, and it's pretty good information. Again, this is from the TWD Universe spoilers. Virgil went crazy in mourning over his family's death. There were other people on the island, people who knew and worked with Virgil, and he would beat them after going crazy. Virgil traps Michonne and the drug, which causes a ton of returns to see what her life would be like if she hadn't saved Andrea, hadn't gone to the prison with the formula, and she joined the Saviors. Michonne escapes Virgil's prison and sees that he burned the boat so they couldn't leave the island. Turns out there's another boat, one that showed up on the island. One of the it doesn't work, but I'm guessing it's one that doesn't work, but it's the boat that leads to Michonne's discovery that Rick Grimes may still be alive. There's a scene from the episode Clear where Michonne is the climber or the backpacker with the orange backpack, and they don't help in different chain of events. She also joined the Saviors and was shown hidden in the stairs during the massacre at the advanced post, which probably was the outpost. Sorry, some things are lost in translation. And Laura was the Savior Glenn killed. There is also an alternate version of the programming where Negan delivers her, probably Lucille, to her, and she makes a speech about how they all killed these people in their sleep and deserve what they got, and she takes down the drugs. You will see flashes of many old characters in this episode. Awesome. Michonne finds Rick's boots and an old phone with a drawing of her and Judith. He says Rick and him in his writing. Michonne is crying, smelling her boots, probably smelling his boots because they smell like him. She talks to Judith, and Judith asks if he is alive in shock. Judith tells Mom she has to go find him and bring him home. Michonne is against the idea at first because she doesn't want to leave her babies, but Judith says that if he was trying to come home all this time and no one could help him, and that she had to go. So, okay, we got some little more confirmation of what's happening potentially. So clearly Michonne is trapped, and Virgil is not a nice guy. So we couldn't trust this guy. New people, can't trust these new people, right? We definitely can't trust Virgil. We trust Magnus Group, but new people, gotta be careful. But either way, Michonne is trapped. She gets out, the boat is torched, can't get away, so Michonne is trapped. Michonne's not going back to Hilltop or Alexandria or even Oceanside. But it's interesting that she's going to go back in time like a what-if scenario and see that. And this is probably bothering her, the orange packback, you know what I'm talking about there. This is interesting that they're going back to the outpost, the satellite station, and these are all remixes, like what-if scenarios. Like Laura was killed by Glenn and Heath. Crazy, right? That didn't happen, because we know Laura got killed by Beta a couple episodes ago, but we'll see her, and it's kind of cool when we see old characters back on, and I'm super excited to see if we see Carl or somebody in Michonne's last episode. And this looks like to be a hallucination. We thought it could be a dream or what, but it's like Michonne is handed Lucille by Negan, and then she takes out someone in the lineup. So she's not part of Team Family, she's a savior in a what-if scenario. So the fact that Judith is on the radio with Michonne and they talk is pretty cool. but it's just tough to believe some of this stuff that they're doing in the episode. Again, if this potentially happens. But they had to write Michonne off the show, and this is the way they're doing it. She survives and goes to find Rick, which I think is the best way of doing things. And I can't wait to see it. Some more spoilers. Amid all her hallucinations, Michonne sees Sadiq, and he asks why she let Rick and Carl die. She just cries. Although Sadiq never really says this, it is to reveal that unconsciously Michonne has been guilty or felt guilty of all her deaths. Michonne makes animal dog for her journey. I'm guessing it's walker pets, with the 2 walkers behind her, but animal dog. But then meets some people. One of them is hurt, and they ask her to help them reach other people. She looks and sees a large group of people walking away, walking in organized queues. They're not whispers, just people. At first she thinks about not helping them and then wink back at the prison fence and Carl saying we should help her. To Rick about her and thinking about Rick and Carl taking risks and taking her to the prison. So she decides to help them. She kills her animal dog, which again I think is Walker Pets, and extends her hand to the injured person to help her walk and reach the group. So I would assume that's going to be the prior footage of Michonne with the formula you'll probably see at the prison with Carl and Rick, and it's probably previous used footage from prior seasons. So it's pretty cool, right? And it's a way of bringing old characters to connect that don't have to film for this episode. Now Sadiq could have filmed, and Laura could have filmed, and different people could have filmed because they were in season 10. So we'll have to see how it goes down, and I really hope we get to see a bunch of characters, a plethora of characters, and I believe these are the animal things that you're talking about, the walker pets. So like it just makes sense. I don't think she's going to find a dog or something. It's probably these walker pets, and that's what they're called. I would assume these are the people that she finds potentially at the end of the episode or whenever she runs into people and tries to help them. But the big question is, does Virgil live? And I hope not, right? Because that guy's got to pay for what he did to my girl Michonne. That's for sure. And here you go, some more spoilers. Michonne was going to kill Virgil, but decided not to, or decided no. The other people he arrested wanted to kill him, and she advised against, because it wouldn't make up for what he did to them, and they wouldn't be satisfied with Michonne says mercy was the best option because it brings peace. So they let him live. Great. So Virgil lives. I don't agree with that, because if he drugged you, was going to do whatever with you, right? I mean, he drugged you, and you're like, nah, it's okay, keep him around. What if he does it to somebody else? Did you ever think of that? It's like mercy. Well, we are what we become. And you lost your family. Okay, so you were a good guy, but that's what it's going to be down to, right? And these are a lot of the promo photos that are for the episode. So we'll see if it makes sense, but, I'm an eye for an eye kind of guy. And this stuff ain't going to fly with me, especially when Virgil is going to hurt Michonne or drug her or do whatever, potentially. No, you got to go. Yes, you, Virgil, you got to go. Your family's gone. You're a liar. You're a manipulator. You're just definitely messed up. So say Michonne, you let him live, right? And then he finds other people and he does whatever to them. Why should you keep that guy alive? Anybody? Please post your comments below and let me know. And I know it's a fictional thing, but it kind of hits close to home a little bit and you kind of see, in real life. But ultimately it's a fictional thing, and I'm sure Virgil, the actor who plays Virgil, is probably a great guy, probably a nice guy. But come on, I'm not going to keep characters around that do that. And that's kind of weak in my opinion. Now, people are saying the early reviews were that it was at a 7 out of 10. And it's Michonne's final goodbye episode, but it raises more questions than provides answers. That's not usually a good thing when it's the final thing, but it's not the final aspect of Michonne. It's just the final story on the show, and her story will continue on in the movies or a spinoff or something else. We could have a Michonne show. And then she goes to the movies, and we go there. But we talked about the opening minutes, and you see the what-if scenario, the alternate version, if she didn't do this and save Andrea. Well, we know she did, and I'm glad she did, because what if she didn't? And she went off into the woods and went somewhere else. Maybe that's a chain reaction. Maybe she went away from this area, she didn't save Andrea, she went and met Negan and the Saviors, and she ran the satellite outpost, but that didn't happen. It's a what-if alternate scenario. But what do you think, guys, of the early spoilers, potential spoilers? I'm liking the idea somewhat, but then it's kind of weak that she doesn't take Virgil out. And, it's a nice way to wrap things up with the character hallucination type thing, a what if scenario, where she's been and kind of where she's been throughout the series. And, it's kind of cool to do that. And again, this is not the Q&A, but once we get it, we will share it with you guys. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. I'm super excited to see if the episode's good or not. And for those interested in my zombie apocalypse book series, if you watch my videos, you know about it already. So if you want to check it out, the link in the description, all these books are available now. Fight for us. I hope you join the fight and help support the channel and the book series. And tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.